Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and this is going to be a brief little review of Christopher L. Bennett's Star Trek The Next Generation, The Lost Era novel, The Buried Age. The Lost Era being a series of 7 novels, I believe, chronicling events in the lives of various notable Star Trek characters, outside of and inspired by what has been televised and filmed, set largely between the 23rd century portion of the film Star Trek Generations and the pilot episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, Encounter at Farpoint. The Buried Age itself serves exclusively to bridge the gap between Jean-Luc Picard's captaincy of the USS Stargazer and eventual captaincy of the Enterprise D, exploring the court-martial aftermath of losing his former vessel and the resultant sting of betrayal he felt when cross-examined ruefully by his then-romantic partner Philippa Louvois. In the wake of which, though he was exonerated on all counts against him, did Picard take an indefinite leave of absence from Starfleet, taking up his former love of archaeology and even taking a position teaching the subject in the hopes of eventually attaining a doctorate. But it is a visit from his enigmatic longtime friend Guinan that sets him on a path toward his greater destiny, as she brings with her whispers of a great galaxy-wide mystery that goes back several millennia, the mass extinction of nearly all life in the galaxy in one huge and as yet unaccounted-for cataclysm. The secrets to unlocking the mystery being super-ancient ruins on various distant worlds that may harbor the answers Picard eagerly seeks. And it is this unfolding search that awakens a being from that time, that becomes not merely a point of intellectual curiosity for Picard, but also one of romantic interest, a man-roloth he gives the name Ariel. The allusions to the age-old tale of Prospero are not lost on Picard, though, as Ariel proves to be of greater influence to his actions than he'd first realized, his promise of helping her to seek out more of her people through further uncovered ruins being a goal he is willing to stake his very life on. And his journey with her is even more interesting, as it is one peppered throughout with encounters of future Enterprise crew personnel that, in their interactions, have in some way or another greatly impressed him. The most notable of which are Data and Troy, as we find out more about Data's lack of any real sense of motivation through adherence to duty, as his limited android scope sees it, until he is prompted to greater things by Picard. And we also learn more about what it takes Picard to feel his trust in Troy is well placed, as both a friend and a counselor. There is also a not-so-insignificant appearance of the then Lieutenant Catherine Janeway, whose expertise in the sciences make her an integral piece of the puzzle that unlocks Ariel in the first place. Eventually, Picard returns to Starfleet in an official capacity in the search for Ariel's people, and is soon to face yet another betrayal, this time at her hands, when she successfully awakens more of the man-roloth. Seeing the great cataclysm that brought so much death and destruction to the galaxy millennia ago as a fault of her own people, a people whose influence reigned a guided peace on the inhabitants of the galaxy at the time through influential interaction, she begins to see Starfleet as being much on the same path to eventual disharmony and seeks to stifle it at its heart. And it is here that Ariel's powers of persuasion are lost on him, his once yearning desire to be with her soon being overtaken by a drive to hunt her down and put a stop to whatever she is planning to unleash on the galaxy of Current. But things aren't adding up the way they should be, for all intents and purposes, as far as Guinan is concerned, knowing full well the eventual fate of Picard as commander of the Enterprise, and the lack of heading in that direction he's taking, so she's moved to intervene on his behalf. It is here we share in a condensed history of her character that is a welcome revelation, while still being unspecific enough to leave much to the imagination. And the results, though tumultuous at first, eventually set things back to where they need to be, with the galaxy safe, Picard in command of the Enterprise, and their mutual journey of wonder and awe only just beginning. Christopher L. Bennett is an able writer, bringing both his talents and interests in physics and science fiction to the plate in full force in The Buried Age, the full brunt of which is felt in the complexities of freeing the man-roloth from their time-displaced confines, a means by which they'd attempted to escape the effects unleashed on the galaxy by their people many millennia earlier. But he is also adept at bringing forth truly relatable characterizations and putting forth the emotional variations these characters feel through their various interactions. In exploring Picard, we're given insights into his thoughts and actions that serve to greatly stand equal to the portrayal of the character by Patrick Stewart. Bennett also masterfully wields a mystery relating to Ariel, who later reclaims her name of old, Girianne, and who is described as having a complexity of beauty to match that of the race from which she originates. You're never sure whether her intentions are good or bad, and that is largely because neither is she. She is sympathetic, and though her intentions may eventually be wholly negative ones, they're inspired and instigated by a true concern for the well-being of the galaxy, and the guilt she still carries for the loss of life once triggered on a galaxy-wide scale by her people of old. The Buried Age successfully broadens the universe we're familiar with, relating to Star Trek The Next Generation, giving us further insights into Picard, issuing us tasty interactions with characters that would eventually serve under him, and even showcasing a brief appearance by eventual arguable foe, Q. Threads are set in place that are picked up by and ultimately paid off in TNG, but not at the expense of the payoff of the tome itself, which is well worth the read for anyone who even remotely considers themselves to be a fan of TNG, Jean-Luc Picard, Patrick Stewart, or all of the above. I highly recommend it. And so that'll be pretty much it for me on this one. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below what some of your favorite episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation are, or favorite Captain Picard moments. And otherwise, I hope you're all doing well. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you later. Peace.